Sir, I understand you brought with you to Tokyo at least 17 battalion commanders who came from Marawi. The question lang po is, when are you going to take the female soldiers to Hong Kong po, as you have promised?
Nandoon na sila. Ano ka man. Nauna pa sa amin.
Ano, yung mga babae?
Oo.
Sabay kayo?
Nag-asawa na nga ang iba pagbalik eh.
So nandoon na sila, the first batch?
You know, this is what really happened.
Okay.
I was not thinking about something else. Somebody. But sabihin ko na lang, and it should really be made public, it was Cebu Pacific who answered for. Nung nalaman niya na sabi ko, sabi niya, sige, iyon na lang ang baon pati hotel. And almost, nandoon na yung mga babae galing na doon.
Okay. So the 17, kasabay mo ngayon din?
Hindi, yung kasabay ko really the top commanders ng ano. I just invited them for a respite.
Yes.
Hindi naman na kailangan punta ng Hong Kong kasama yung mga babae. Naloko na. Wala man silang mag-go-in doon. For ladies lang yun, a chance to visit Hong Kong for those who have not been there. But itong sila, I just brought them to unwind. At least may sila, panahon mag-sightseeing.
Okay. Thank you, sir.
You're welcome, always.
As always.
For sure.
Yes, sir.
Pati yan siya sa likod.
Ruth
On deck.
Dumandan of Radyo Pilipinas.
Hi, Mayor. Good evening. Sorry to ask this question, President, because Leila de Lima, in her statement, instead of going after imagined and fictitious drug lords, why not investigate daw Paulo and Attorney Mans Carpio?
Hindi ko makakuha lahat yan. I know half of but what is really the diretso ko na lang.
Yes, sir. Why not investigate Paulo and Attorney Mans Carpio? Na sila naman daw yung mga drug lords.
Who would believe me if I investigate my son and my son-in-law? Ikaw, can you investigate your mother or father? I leave it to the independent agencies, just the human rights, which making all the noise, and you have the NBI. I said, magtanong ka ng member dito, I do not talk privately with my secretaries. I do not even call them, not once. And I leave everybody to decide what is right for this country. If they are really guilty, then so be it. Diba sinabi ko na sa inyo nung mayor ako, anong order ko sa police? Barilin ninyo kasi anak ko. At that statement remains. Barilin mo. Pag nagamit ng droga o nakahawak ng droga, barilin mo. Extra judicial killing, if you want. And I can understand. Wala akong posta ko when I said I cast my future in my presidency. Hindi ako magpakorne. Kita mo mga cabinet members, kaibigan ko lahat. Sinipa ko. The last was the Undersecretary of Budget. He was around when I was campaigning. But the first one, the first cabinet, was also the head of my campaign. Wala tayong magawa. So, kung makulong sila, di ipakulong mo. Yung ganyan lang ang buhay. Walang pakurnihan. Do not be so anxious or say sorry for asking the question. You are all entitled to ask your question. You must have your dog day. So, tanong kayo. Before my mayorship, sinabi ko na sa inyo yan. And you know that ang pamilya ng in-laws ni Paulo, ang negosyo yung importation ng mga from Singapore, At the age of 18, he eloped with a woman 24 years old. So he had to join the family of the lady and to help the business. Kaya he is a regular feature doon yan. Noon yan. That started, kayong mga taga-Davao, alam ninyo yan. It is benefit of the rest of the nation. The reason why she is there because diyan siya, hindi mo natin makatapos pag-aral eh. So natuto siyang magdegosyo. At 18 years old, he had to work with the family of his wife. Does that...
Yes, Mayor. Thank you po.
next time, do not be apologetic about it.
Baka init yung ulo, Mayor.
Wala, malamig ang biyahe.
Yes.
Malamig ang ulo. Malamig ang Japan po.
Asuka Ito of the Daily Manila Shimbun.
Mayong gabi po, sir. Ako po si Asuka from Daily Manila Shimbun, Japanese newspaper po.
Saan ka, ma'am?
Saan ka? Daily Manila Shimbun, it's Japanese newspaper.
Akala ko taga-Bulacan nga.
Taga Tokyo.
Your place is good, very nice.
Thank you so much, sir. I have two questions. First, I would like to ask you, what did you feel when the Majesty, the Emperor, recalled the precious victim of Filipino victim of World War II? What did you feel at that time?
Did we talk about the victims? No. What are you talking about?
I'm talking
the
about
other issues.
when you talk to the Majesty, the Emperor. The first word the Emperor says that there's so many Filipino victims during the World War II. So at that time, what did you feel? And after that, what did you talk with Sir Majesty?
No, we restored our normal relations with Japan about in 1950, long time, 58, about almost a little over 1 year. All the issues there connected with the war are water under the bridge.
Okay.
It's not being even discussed in polite company.
Okay, sir. Next question is that is there any possibility that the Japanese defense forces join the Marawi rehabilitation in the fields?
No, I do not think that they're sending soldiers, the Japan Defense Forces. No, it's the military arm of your government, and I do not think that your constitution would allow that thing to happen.
How about
we are very satisfied with the Japanese experts and technicians. They are all good.
is there any planning joint training or joint drill between Philippines and Japan?
Maybe Coast Guard. The Coast Guard here is purely civilian. It belongs to the Department of Transportation. And Coast Guard is the component of enforcing the laws regarding the laws that is applicable in the territorial waters of Japan. Coast Guard lang po.
Coast Guard. Thank you so much. Maraming salamat po, sir.
Salamat.
David Santos of CNN Philippines.
Kala ko taga Bulacan ang...
Mayang gabi, Mayor. Mayor, before you left the other day, no, you emphasized the need. I mean, sa mga agenda na pag-uusapan nyo po was your concerns. I mean, the neighboring countries' concern about North Korea. Can you discuss? Can you discuss?
Yes.
Ano yung kamusta yung naging discussion nyo with the Prime Minister? Did you get to raise to him your proposal that somebody needs to reach out to the North Korean leader?
No, we just talked about the perils of a war, and all others were just incidentals. The main issue really is I said, miscalculation. Any of the countries involved It's always a miscalculation and how it would wreak havoc, not only in the neighboring countries, particularly China, Korea, and the neighboring peripheral countries around that country. We also were talking about what would be the wages of war and how will it affect humanity. When you talk of nuclear bombs and nuclear weapons, there's no room for argument there. But one thing is sure, destruction. So, ganun lang ang ano namin.
Yung dialogue, yes, sir. Your proposal was more on trying to reach out to the North Korean leader, holding dialogues. Was the Prime Minister amenable to that?
Everybody, I said, the one thing maybe which is sorely lacking now is the communications. And so far as I'm concerned, I think it's only China who has that kind of competence to talk about these things, about the costs of a nuclear blast.
My second question po, Mayor, a spokesman of the Japanese government said that you and Prime Minister Abe discussed the issues on the maritime security and freedom of navigation, including the South China Sea.
Correct. That has to be one of the countries that is really interested in the freedom of navigation, especially coming in from the Indian Ocean. You go that narrow strait there. And there's a lot of buildings there by China. And also some other countries are claiming some islands, Vietnam, Malaysia, and Indonesia. It could be really a messy thing. Not only in the Philippines, pati sila, because each and every country has a economic zone. And it is overlapping. Not only China claiming the majority of the area, but even dito sa atin, sa Malaysia and Indonesia. But always we can resolve it by just talking.
Ano yung concerns po ni Prime Minister, sir, considering that vis-a-vis with you've been pushing for warmer relations with China? Ano po yung namang concerns po na nire-raise ni Prime Minister?
In the meantime that we are not really prepared just about anything except to talk. Let us just talk. I cannot imagine myself getting involved in a violent and almost a suicide action. You can read all the legal treaties there, claiming this and claiming that. But the problem, I said, is I do not want to criticize the big powers now, because it was really of their own making. There has been sufficient time. We were shown all of and there was activity there, but nobody really, once in a while raised the howl. Now China is building, but her promises are peaceful. So in the meantime, I said, since there is no space to talk about a violent option, let us just continue. But China has put it on record that near the Pag-asa, where we also have our base there, the Scarborough Islands, China has committed to us not to build anything there. And I hope that they would honor that commitment to us. I hope and I pray. I do not want to create something here which is not good for us, for all of us.
Sir, you're holding on to that.
Yes. Because once I commit to you as a president of a sovereign state, what comes out of my mouth is what it is. And it's always a commitment with honor. Anything less than that, you lose the respect of. They probably would not have the time to, or anybody inviting us for a talk and discuss giving aid and assistance to the country.
Quickly lang, Mayor, if they do not hindi nila tutuparin yung kanilang naging commitment, what will happen?
Then I will send you to go there and demand compliance.
But seriously,
There's
Mayor.
no other way around except to give it to people who are speculating. I am not speculating. I am using the gray matter between my ears. And I said, I have a plan. And someday, if I make it public, I hope you'll join me. But if your impatience suggests otherwise, then I can always take you in government and maybe clothe you with an envoy status and go there and argue. And ask him, what will you do to the Philippines if you reverse your decision to honor? It's not for me to say. It's them for that question should be answered by them. Not by me. Klaro na ako dito. Wala naman akong inagaw. Basta ito akin. Then the Scarborough Show. That was about it. That was the fundamental issue at that time. Now that there's construction everywhere, well, I said for lack of space in time and whatever, I said, China is also helping us. So it's not because we are not ready to lose it, but because I said the reality is on the ground is far different. But there will be a time. And I assure you that I said during my term, na magtanong ako what is really in store for us all. I hope we will reach that stage. And China is a good listener. Okay?
Daghang salamat.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. President, members of the press. Thank you so much.
Oh, ano? Bakit? Meron pa dagdag? Sige, tanong kayo. Anybody wants to... saan galing to?
Vina Araneta.
Hi, sir.
ABS, CBN.
Sabi ko nga. Good morning. Good evening, Mr. President. Mr. President, last October 23, Mayor Sara Duterte launched Tapang at Malasakit Alliance to unite the Filipinos. Many are saying na pantapat daw po yun sa Tindig Pilipinas, and many are speculating na nagpaparamdam na siya for 2019 elections. But of course, sabi niya she will run for Congress. But sa mga appearances niya lately, like in Malita, Davao Occidental, ang introduction sa kanya is the next president.
Wala ka pala niyan. Storya wala niya. No, and then is not interested. You know, I'm telling you the truth. She did not really want to be mayor. And I have a letter of resignation. We were inducted into office June 30. That's it, correct? Yeah.
Yes.
Alam mo, July 1, dumating na sa table ko that she was resigning from the mayorship because of blah, 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 blah. And I had to fly back. And it was a very agonizing moment for me. And ayaw talaga eh. And sabi ko, well, alam mo, if we are elected, it's really the voice of the people asking us to that. Total election naman to. And if you are the winner with the huge majority, then you can say that the voice of the people is the voice of God. So, sabi ko, you have to honor it because I did not start it. It was my father who became governor, and later on, in between the years, they were foisting my candidacy. At one election, local, pinapatanong ako ni Don Antonio Florendo if I can run for the locals. My mother gave me a ticket and said, go to Manila and get lost there. Do not ever, ever enter politics. Then, hindi ko naman talaga, dumating ang EDSA. Then pinilit nila akong mag-resign as prosecutor. Sinabi ko, okay. Buhay pa naman yan sila hanggang ngayon. Sinabi ko, okay, pero pagkatapos nitong 1 year, kung maaari lang, gusto ko lang mag-judge. Kasi malaki ang sweldo, kunti, makapag-aral ang mga anak ko sa Manila. Kasi gusto nila doon mag-aral. And the opportunity was there. You know why? They come on. Dahil gusto ko yung mga anak ko makapag-aral ng gusto nila, magandang edukasyon. Ito si Paulo, yung said, he charted his own course. Ito namang bunso, hindi ko naman artista pala ang gusto. Babae. Let us respect her choice. Ako naman, I forgot to, itong kay Inday na local initiative.
Yes.
I am encouraging her. And to the New People's Army, do not take it so badly. Wala naman pilitan to eh. Yung gusto lang magpahinga. If you're tired killing another human being, you're always invited to go back mainstream. Balik kayo dito at alagaan ko kayo. And eventually, just to prepare you for the entry into the main line of society. Mainstream rather.
Reaction niyo lang po, Mr. President, dun sa Tapang at Malasakit Alliance.
Sino? Ang tinatanong ko niyan, si Inday ako.
Kayo po, yung sa inorganize niya na alliance. Asking also the opposition to
she said it very clear that she was hurt by yung alam mo na, pati yung kapatid niya. Alam mo niya, hindi totoo. Matagal maumiyaw dito. Kailan pa niya ako nakita? And I said, except for Trillanes, anybody can come here and I will authorize you to take a peep into my... Pero huwag mo akong gawing uto-uto. Hindi talaga ako, mayroon na ako nandiyan, mabait niya gamitin. I executed that waiver before the elections to meet the challenge of, sabi maraming pera. Nagbigay na ako, sabi, expiry. Wala expiry yan. At ibigay ko sa iyo yung bukas. At tawagan ni, he was my lawyer, Attorney Panelo. Tawagan niya. You allow ABS-CBN to take a peep. Kano? Kaya kayo man yung nag-ano. Pero wala na ako sa, ayaw ko na rin I promised one single lady sa inyo. Empleyado lang rin. She was very almost condescending attitude. Sabi ko, ano pa naman siya sa ABS, sabi ko, no. You can tell your boss that after we shake hands tonight, sabihin mo sa kanya, hindi na ako magsalita. Except factual. Kasi kayo yung ng talagang corruption. Bigyan mo, I'll give you the authority. There's the waiver. Walang expiry date yan. Kaya ginilagay ko yan, walang expiry. So, kanya use that in my whole term as presidency.
Thank you po.
Thank you, Mr. President, members of the press. Thank you so much.